Hey guys, Dimension Master Studios here. How y'all doing? So, with episodes 13 and 14 of Crystallize out in English, sort of, when it comes to the show, there has obviously been a lot of discussion and debate when it comes to the fanbase, which, makes sense given the newest episodes are being out and everything. But one of the most interesting things that I've seen a lot of people talk about when it comes to these latest two episodes is in regards to Harumi. And this is a debate that people had basically going back to before Crystallize even started, with it being the idea of Harumi getting some kind of redemption arc. And I've seen a lot of different sides just be formed after this latest episode, mainly with there being two different groups. People who think that Harumi can or should get a redemption arc when it comes to the show, and the people who think that Harumi can't or shouldn't get a redemption arc. And for me personally, guys, in case this isn't obvious by some of my videos, I don't think that Harumi should get a redemption arc. I think that the idea of Harumi getting a redemption arc makes absolutely no sense when it comes to Crystallize. And in today's video, I just wanted to explain my thoughts on this whole situation. Let's get into this whole situation, and in case it isn't obvious, spoilers for the latest episodes of Crystallize and just Crystallize in general. So, let's do this. The first reason why I don't think Harumi should get a redemption arc is because of this. I just think it's better when we have some Ninjago villains who remain evil and everything. I feel like when it comes to Ninjago, when they're able to do redemption arcs for villains, it's done relatively well, all things considered. Look at characters like Moro and Garmadon, for example. I feel like they were able to do really good redemption arcs when it came to their stories. But at the same time, I think it also is able to work really well where when it comes to Ninjago, we just have these villains who are just purely evil and just terrible people overall who don't change, honestly. Take a look at villains like Chen and the Skull Sorcerer, for example. They are two really evil villains when it comes to Ninjago, and I think it honestly works better sometimes when it comes to Ninjago, where instead of giving a villain a redemption arc, they just keep them as an evil villain, honestly. I just feel like that can work better when it comes to the story that they're trying to tell, honestly. And just overall, when you take a look at these villains, actually. So again, if they keep Rumi as a villain, I just think that would make sense, honestly, so that way we have more villains in Ninjago who are actually villains and remain that way. Another reason why I don't think Harumi should get a redemption arc is because of this. It wouldn't fit with Harumi's character at all. This is something that I've mentioned a few times, but when it comes to Harumi's death scene, one of the major reasons why I consider this scene to be really bad is because Harumi saving three people completely goes against her character and everything that we saw of her during the events of seasons 8 and 9. Because during seasons 8 and 9, Harumi was presented to us as an evil, sadistic killer who finds joy in people's suffering and who cares about no one other than herself. And the idea of her doing anything good at all, it just doesn't fit with any of that, honestly. And so if they were to give Harumi a redemption arc, again, it just wouldn't fit with her character at all, given just what we've seen Harumi do. Just seriously, given how bad and terrible she is, especially considering just how bad her actions were during the events of seasons 8 and 9, doing stuff like treating Lloyd terribly and literally killing innocent people like the Emperor and Empress of Ninjago, who were her adoptive parents. Again, Harumi getting some kind of redemption arc, I just don't think that would fit with her character at all, honestly. Finally, one last and honestly the biggest reason why I don't think Harumi should get a redemption arc is because Harumi can't be redeemed. When you take a look at Harumi's actions and the stuff that she did during the events of seasons 8 and 9, you realize just how terrible of a person she truly is. I talked about this a lot when I compared Harumi's redemption arc to Moro's redemption arc, so for the short version of the whole situation, one of the biggest reasons why I consider Harumi to be an irredeemable villain is, in addition to how bad her actions were, it was how personal the terrible stuff she did was actually. I mean, again, she treated Lloyd absolutely terribly all throughout the events of seasons 8 and 9 and did whatever she could in order to make him suffer, even going so far as to try and kill him on multiple occasions. And the other big thing is, again, her killing the Emperor and Empress of Ninjago. Like, she literally murdered them in cold blood and couldn't care less about either one of them. She literally told Lloyd they were never my parents. So just, again, seriously, there's that. And just, again, when it comes to how bad Harumi's actions were, again, they were just absolutely terrible when you look at it. I mean, and again, there was stuff that I mentioned, plus there was also stuff like her resurrecting Lord Garmadon, who is a literal demon, and being responsible for multiple major attacks in Ninjago City. So just, again, seriously, it wouldn't make any sense at all. And given the stuff that we've seen so far when it comes to Crystallize, mainly during episode 14, where Harumi literally attempts to kill the ninja again and make Lloyd watch the exact same thing that she did back during season 8 during the finale. Again, it just shows how heartless Harumi is. And one other thing that I feel I need to point out when it comes to Harumi is that when it comes to all the bad and terrible stuff that she did during seasons 8 and 9, Harumi wanted all of that stuff to happen. Harumi made it very clear on multiple occasions that she was completely aware of all the bad and terrible stuff that she was doing during seasons 8 and 9, and that she wanted all of it to happen. During the season 8 episode Game of Masks, Harumi told Lloyd, and I quote, "I want you to feel the emptiness that I feel." During the season 9 premiere, when Ninjago was in complete ruins and the people were fearing for their lives, Harumi told Garmadon, "The people's fear controls them, and desperate people take desperate actions." And during the season 8 finale, Lloyd brought up the fact that innocent people were going to die as a result of the Oni Titans' rampage on Ninjago City, and Harumi said, and I quote, "This is only the beginning." Which to me implies not only does Harumi think that innocent people are going to die as a result of the attack, but that she wants innocent people to die as a result of the attack. And also, towards the end of the season 8 finale, once Harumi forces Lloyd to watch what he and everyone else think and the death of the 4 original ninja and Sensei Wu, Harumi literally tells Lloyd, "This is what I wanted, to see your father return and for you to lose everything." Again, Harumi wants all this stuff to happen, and we can see during the events of Crystallize, Harumi hasn't changed and she's still this terrible person. Because again, like I said, she's literally forcing Lloyd to watch, again, what he and everyone else thinks are the death of the 4 original ninja. And yes, she is apologizing to Lloyd, saying sorry, but Harumi does not feel bad about this. You can definitely tell that Harumi is enjoying this and she loves watching Lloyd suffer. The only reason why she's apologizing in the first place is to taunt Lloyd. That's literally it. So yeah, when it comes to Harumi, again, just if she's given a redemption arc, it wouldn't make any sense because Harumi can't be redeemed. And honestly, I think that if Harumi does get a redemption arc during the events of Crystallize, it's going to feel so forced and unnatural that it just wouldn't work at all, given just, again, who Harumi is and all the bad and terrible stuff that she's done. Just, again, I think it would be so much better for the story in Crystallize, Harumi remained as a villain. Plus, at the same time, I feel like this could also work when it comes to Lloyd's arc of him getting over Harumi and moving on from her, because it will allow Lloyd to because if Harumi didn't change and she remains a bad guy, it would just help Lloyd realize that when it comes to Harumi, she can't change. She's a terrible person, and it's something that Lloyd has to accept in order to fully move on from Harumi. And so that's pretty much all I got for you guys. So yeah, again, I don't think that Harumi should get a redemption arc when it comes to Crystallize. I feel like that would be incredibly forced and completely out of character for Harumi and would make absolutely no sense at all when it comes to Crystallize or just the story in general. And so that's pretty much all I got for you guys. So tell me down below, what do you guys think? What are your guys' thoughts on this whole situation? Again, tell me down below, and I hope you guys enjoy. Later, guys, this is Dimension Master Studios, signing off.